All right, the Commerce Committee is called to order. We're going to move a couple of nominations, and then the remainder will have to wait till we get a couple more members here, but we have a couple that we can move right now. And so I now recognize Senator Cantwell for a motion.
Mr.
It's the one McCormack, it's 7 in my one. I think it's later.
I move that PN 73046, the nomination of Raymond McCormack to be Undersecretary of Transportation for Policy, be favorably reported.
Is there a second? Clerk will call the roll.
Mr. Thune,
Aye by proxy.
Mr. Wicker,
Aye by proxy.
Mrs. Fisher, Mr. Moran, Mr. Sullivan, Mrs. Blackburn,
Aye by proxy.
Mr. Young, Mr. Budd, Mr. Schmidt, Mr. Curtis, Mr. Moreno, Mr. Sheehy, Mrs. Capito, Ms. Lummis, Ms. Cantwell,
Aye.
Ms. Klobuchar,
Aye by proxy.
Mr. Schatz,
No by proxy.
Mr. Markey,
Aye by proxy.
Mr. Peters,
Wait. Mr. Markey is actually no by proxy.
Mr. Markey, no. Mr. Peters,
Aye by proxy.
Ms. Baldwin,
Aye by proxy.
Ms. Duckworth,
No by proxy.
Ms. Rosen, Mr. Lujan,
No by proxy.
Mr. Hickenlooper,
Aye by proxy.
Mr. Fetterman,
Aye by proxy.
Mr. Kim,
No by proxy.
Ms. Blunt Rochester,
No by proxy.
Mr. Cruz.
Aye.
The ayes are 22, the noes are 6.
The motion is agreed to, and the nomination is ordered to be reported favorably. I recognize Senator Cantwell for another motion.
Mr. Chairman, I move that PN 73022, nomination of Daniel Edwards to be Assistant Secretary of Transportation, be favorably reported.
Is there a second? Clerk will call the roll.
Mr. Thune,
Aye by proxy.
Mr. Wicker,
Aye by proxy.
Mrs. Fisher, Mr. Moran, Mr. Sullivan, Mrs. Blackburn,
Aye by proxy.
Mr. Young, Mr. Budd, Mr. Schmidt, Mr. Curtis, Mr. Moreno, Mr. Sheehy, Mrs. Capito, Ms. Lummis, Ms. Cantwell,
Aye.
Ms. Klobuchar,
Aye by proxy.
Mr. Schatz,
No by proxy.
Mr. Markey,
No by proxy.
Mr. Peters,
Aye by proxy.
Ms. Baldwin,
Aye by proxy.
Ms. Duckworth,
No by proxy.
Ms. Rosen, Mr. Lujan,
No by proxy.
Mr.
No
Hickenlooper,
by proxy.
Mr. Fetterman,
Aye by proxy.
Mr. Kim,
No by proxy.
Ms. Blunt
No
Rochester,
by proxy.
Mr. Cruz,
You have to vote.
Aye. Wicker is
Mr.
voting in
Wicker.
person, aye.
The ayes are 21, the noes are 7.
The motion is agreed to, and the nomination is ordered to be reported favorably. I recognize Ranking Member Cantwell for another motion.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I move that PN 621, PN 675, PN 676, PN 677, PN 682, PN 697, PN 698, Coast Guard promotions be favorably reported.
Is there a second? Second. All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed say no. The motion is agreed to, and the nominations are ordered to be reported favorably.
Mr. Chairman, if Senator Hickenlooper would like to be no on Mr. McCormack.
Okay, the record will be corrected to so reflect. I now recognize Senator Thune for a motion.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I move that PN 730-19 nomination of John DeLeeuw to be a member of the National Transportation Safety Board, PN 730-29 nomination of Stephen Haines to be an Assistant Secretary of Commerce, and PN 730-31 nomination of Robert Harvey to be a Federal Maritime Commissioner be favorably reported in block.
Is there a second?
Second.
Clerk will call the roll.
Mr. Thune,
Aye.
Mr. Wicker,
Aye.
Mrs. Fisher, Mr. Moran, Mr. Sullivan, Mrs. Blackburn,
Aye by proxy.
Mr. Young, Mr. Budd, Mr. Schmidt, Mr. Curtis, Mr. Moreno, Mr. Sheehy, Mrs. Capito, Ms. Lummis, Ms. Cantwell, Ms. Klobuchar,
No by proxy.
Mr. Schatz,
No by proxy.
Mr. Markey,
No by proxy.
Mr. Peters,
No by proxy.
Ms. Baldwin,
No by proxy.
Ms. Duckworth,
No by proxy.
Ms. Rosen, Mr. Lujan,
No by proxy.
Mr. Hickenlooper,
No by proxy.
Mr. Fetterman,
No by proxy.
Mr. Kim,
No by proxy.
Ms. Blunt Rochester,
No by proxy.
Mr. Cruz.
Aye.
The ayes are 14, the noes are 13.
Mr. Chairman, we are trying to get through this markup today, but I did want to note that we don't like the process of bundling nominees. We get that we were all going to be against them, but we would have liked the opportunity to speak particularly about the NTSB nominee. We don't support replacing a current NTSB agency with new improvements. There's a legal litigation going on, but I'll put something into the record. But we do object to that process of bundling the nominees together. Thank you.
Understood. The motion is agreed to, and the nominations are ordered to be reported favorably. I now move that S 3639, the SAT Streamlining Act, as amended by the Cruz substitute as modified. Is there a second?
Second.
Is there discussion? Senator Rosen.
I'd like to bring up my Amendment 2, please. No, I'm sorry, hang on. 3639? Wait. That's right. Rosen Amendment 2. Sorry about that. I had it in the wrong order. You guys good? Yes, I'm good.
Are you calling up the amendment, or my
I'm
understanding?
calling up the amendment.
Okay, because I thought it was going to be offered and withdrawn. Is that not?
Can I make I'm going to offer and withdraw, but I'd like to make a statement.
Sure, of course.
Thank you. I'd like to call up Rosen Amendment 2 and withdraw it. Last week, we received reports that Elon Musk's SpaceX was seeking to exempt itself from critical requirements under the BEAD program, including performance testing, network installation, and reserving capacity in its network. The provisions outlined in the contract rider say that SpaceX sent to multiple states are in complete contradiction to the BEAD rules NTIA released last year and inconsistent with the statute creating BEAD itself. Mr. Musk only now wants to change the rules after he's won bids. Allowing Musk to rewrite the BEAD rules is a betrayal of the letter and the spirit of the law, as well as the Americans we stand to connect. How will states or NTIA know if Americans are getting connected if the only places that can be tested for network performance are places that SpaceX determines? How can we ensure their Starlink service is using taxpayer money appropriately when the company wants to exempt itself from reporting on how they spend the BEAD funds? We can't let the, quote, benefit of the bargain, as the Commerce Secretary would say, only benefit big corporations owned by administration friends. I refuse to let the BEAD program be corrupted to fund hundreds of millions of dollars to one company at the expense of all taxpayers while leaving rural Americans behind, rural Americans in my state and across this country. The BEAD program was meant to be a once-in-a-generation investment to finally close the digital divide. My amendment would protect the integrity of this program by ensuring by ensuring any satellite provider must comply with the BEAD rules outlined in the bipartisan infrastructure law for them to use the streamlined process under this bill. Mr. Chairman, I am willing to withdraw my amendment if you would commit to having NTIA engage with members of this committee, either a briefing or a meeting on the Starlink rider and how they plan to uphold the integrity of the BEAD program.
And we're happy to arrange that discussion.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Amendment withdrawn.
If I might be heard, I want to thank the chair for giving that assurance and to associate myself with many of the remarks made by the senator from Nevada, because there is a concern among rural Americans that perhaps the build-out will somehow disadvantage the least populated areas. So I appreciate her offering the amendment and withdrawing it, and I appreciate the chair's assurance.
And if Senator Wicker would like to be part of that briefing and discussion as well, he's certainly welcome to participate as well.
Thank you, sir.
So my understanding is,
I would like to call up Cantwell 3.
okay, I think we have lost our quorum, so we're no longer able to move the bill. Okay, proceed with the amendment.
I call up Cantwell Amendment Number 3. This amendment would simply strike the automatic approval from the bill. Deemed granted, as it currently is written in the text, means that the FCC doesn't act fast enough, the application is approved by default. No review, no safeguards, just the ability to move forward. The space economy is booming, and I want to keep it that way. I should note for my colleagues that about 50% of all satellites built in the United States are built in the market today, are built in Redmond, Washington. So trust me, I want to build more satellites, and I want to get them up into our continued advancement as soon as possible. But we are talking about mega constellations of thousands of satellites sharing spectrum with aviation, GPS, weather forecasting, emergency services, national security operations. And that is exactly the moment where we need to get this process right, not abandon it. Just this week, an application landed in front of the FCC for 1 million satellites. 1 million satellites. So just think about it today. We have about 9,000 satellites. So we have a proposal in front of the FCC now by SpaceX for 1 million satellites. Literally, the FCC could fail to take any action on this, and within 1.5 years, 1 million satellites would be approved. That's 66 times more than everything in current orbit. And under this bill, as you can see from our colleagues, we are trying to do stuff about cleaning up the airspace in general. Under this bill, the FCC can't process, if it can't process the application within 18 months, it's approved. The FCC reviews these applications for a reason, mostly because of interference, to protect the safety of life services and screen for national security risks and ensure these constellations serve the public. Automatic approval does not speed up that review, it simply eliminates it. If we think the FCC is too slow, let's fix the process. I would offer more language this morning, but we're not trying to ultimately prohibit the bill from moving. We're just saying we think that this process where you take care of the ground stations, that seems to be the biggest backlog at the FCC now, is something to focus on, and that is what our House colleagues did in their proposal. But the answer is not just to run out the clock. I urge my colleagues to support this amendment.
I thank the ranking member. I'll make several observations. One, this underlining bill is bipartisan. It is Cruz-Welch, both Republican and Democrat. Number two, this is a real problem needing to streamline the satellite approvals at the FCC. As the ranking member noted, there is a considerable backlog. Number three, the demand is only increasing. It is increasing significantly, and it is increasing in the face of competition from China. In January, the Chinese filed at the ITU to launch 200,000 satellites. Adverse countries are launching their satellites regardless of anything we do. And if we are going to continue to lead in space, and in particular to beat China, we need to be able to move with speed and to be agile. Nothing in this proposal limits the FCC's ability to deny an application. The FCC can say no to 1 satellite or 1 million satellites. Nothing in this prohibits the FCC's ability to grant the application. All this is doing is speeding up the process, which is a common sense step. I will also note that the language about deemed granted, similar language was in the House bill that was voted out of ENC unanimously, with every Republican and every Democrat supporting it. And so I'm hopeful. The ranking member has said she wants to work together on this. I believe that to be the case, and so I'm happy to continue working with her on it. But I think the objective of speeding up these applications should be a bipartisan objective and one that we should all be able to support.
Well, Mr. Chairman, if I could, we should. The House bill doesn't have the language we're seeking, but that is not included in your draft, and so that's the proposal. And it strikes me very much like the AI approach. We're going to get a federal preemption on AI, but we're not going to have a federal standard. And so here, we're trying to say, throw out the standards and basically just say that here is the issue. We're going to just deem 1 million satellites approved in a year and a half if nothing else happens. And I just think it's bad precedent. I personally believe that this race of communications to space is going to be a national security issue. It is definitely going to be a weather issue. It is definitely going to be a communications issue. So I'm very anxious about a process, particularly with interference, that just says negligence by the FCC gets you your permits for 1 million satellites. So again, I urge my colleagues to support the Cantwell amendment.
And I would note the way the bill is drafted, it creates one set of rules for all satellites, which I think makes sense and is fair and is the right way to approach it. Having separate rules, I understand today sometimes politics is a reality, and the words Elon Musk cause strong feelings in my colleagues on the other side of the aisle. He is nonetheless an extraordinary innovator who is producing incredible technology that is making a real difference in the country. And I think the uniform rules ought to apply to everyone and not have an Elon Musk exception for negative treatment because of perceptions in the political arena.
Mr. Chairman, if I could on that point, I just pointed out that 50% of the satellites being built are being built in my state. So that is both Starlink and Kuiper. Okay, in fact, Starlink is way ahead. So we're all for that. We're all for them continuing their great expertise. We are for us getting a strategy that works, but that strategy without rules is not the process that is going to protect us on national security and on weather safety and the interference issues that are going to continue to be perceived. So I don't think we're going to come to an agreement here this morning, but certainly would like to come to an agreement. Definitely think there are ways to do this. The point about the House language is that half of that backlog, or more than half of the backlog, Brendan Carr has cleared out some of it, is related to ground, basically, stations. So the ground stations, a lot of less concern about interference. Lots of ways you can expedite that because there aren't the same issues. Happy to expedite that today. Happy to accept that language from the House and expedite that today. But I don't think that that's what your side is willing to do. So let's just have our votes and do whatever we're going to do and then just figure out how to reconvene and get somewhere on this issue.
Okay, does the ranking member want a roll call vote on the amendment?
Well, I don't know what that means right here, but I'm happy to accept it since we started the debate. So yes, yes. But can we have a vote? Can we have a vote or no? We don't have quorum. Or no votes? Okay, so we had a good debate. We had a good debate, and
Okay.
we'll continue the debate. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
All right, before we recess, Senator Young, I understand, wanted to raise something.
Thank you, Chairman. I serve as the chair of the National Security Commission for Emerging Biotechnology. Last year, we released our recommendations for legislation to advance and secure American leadership in biotechnology for purposes of national and economic security. One of these recommendations was to charge the National Science Foundation with creating a network of cloud laboratories to make the data generation easier. In President Trump's AI action plan, there was an additional emphasis on why we should make these critical investments in automated cloud laboratories. That's why last year, I, along with Senator Kim, introduced the Cloud Lab Act. This legislation would build out the cloud lab ecosystem with new scientific investments and infrastructure to establish a greater cloud lab presence in the United States, a longer-term strategy for American leadership in research and development, especially for biotechnologies. While we're not moving my legislation or any cloud-related, lab-related legislation today, we are strengthening the cloud lab ecosystem with the National Programmable Cloud Laboratories Network Act, as we follow up from these proceedings today, from Senators Fetterman and Budd. So I thank them for working with me and Senator Kim on my amendment, which I believe strengthens their legislation. The amendment would require that at least one cloud laboratory node established under the Fetterman-Budd bill focus on biotechnology-related capabilities. It would also add a new definition of biological data and incorporate targeted references to biotechnology and biological data throughout the bill. We cannot allow our adversaries, particularly China, to outpace the United States in biotechnology, making it imperative that the committee focus on strengthening cloud laboratories and biotechnology capabilities. Thank you again, Mr. Chairman. I yield back.
Thank you, Senator Young, and we will be taking up the SAT streamlining bill and the remaining bills that were on the markup when we reconvene and have a full quorum, but we do not at present. And so the ranking member wants to comment? Sure.
Mr. Chairman, I just wanted to take a moment because today actually is 3 years since the Norfolk Southern train derailment in East Palestine, Ohio. So we still remember those individuals affected by this and East Palestine, Ohio. On this date, February 3rd, 38 rail cars, including 11 tank cars carrying hazardous material, left the tracks. These people of East Palestine and the surrounding community of Darlington suffered from those materials in their water, in their soul, and burning in the air. When this accident happened, the president, all of us said they would not be forgotten, so we still have work to do, Mr. Chairman, and I hope we will continue to remember them on this day and the work that still needs to be done. Thank you.
Very good, and we will be reconvening shortly, perhaps as soon as tomorrow before the autonomous vehicle hearing. And with that, hearing is adjourned.